Hi there, Perry again. I want to ask you because I spent a lot of my time when I was in court reporting school in a place of being the victim. I didn't know that then. Now, translating, I did that in my life too. I came by it, yeah, I came by it honestly, but it was the story that I was hanging on to. And as I would begin my very early journey of self-discovery. And it began probably about the age of 5, where I started questioning, why am I here? Who are these people? What does this mean? Am I a bad person? And why is this happening to me? Age of 5, maybe before that. But that feeling of it's all happening to me. It would take me 40 years to come full circle and start questioning, because I heard other people saying it, life isn't happening to you. Life is happening for you. And I'm like, I can't even, what? No idea what you mean. All this shit is happening to me, really. I mean, just watch. See, there's evidence right here. It's happening to me. Except that it's all a matter of perception. And I was the victim in my life until I realized there was something different that I can do. And I remember a moment when I was in a coaching class, learning to coach. How do you coach people? You either are the role model and are a guide, or I don't know what you're doing, but God bless you for trying. My advisor asked me, well, Carrie, that's your story. Yeah, yeah, that's what happened to you. But who would you be without that story? Because you keep repeating that story and you keep bringing that story along with you. And that's sounding like every excuse you have for not stepping forward, for not being more, doing more, expanding into more, every single step along the way for that is you're using your story as your excuse. Your story is your reason why you can't do the things you want to do. Your story is your excuse why things aren't working out well for you. So I ask you, who would you be without that story? And in that moment, I froze because I realized I didn't know. I truly did not think there was an existence that was me outside of that story. Because how could there be? I mean, that was me. That was the stuff that happened to me. That was the things, good and bad, that made me into who I was in that moment. And truly, they have made me into who I am in this moment. Do I dwell on them like I used to? No. Have I come mostly to peace with all of that? Yeah. And it still happened, but it's not happening now. That was the concept that I really had a hard time with, is that, yeah, it happened. Okay, so honor that person who had to survive that, but is it happening now? And there were bits and pieces in my life. It's like, yeah, that looks like it, and that looks like it. And so, see, it's familiar. So, and I'm like, and then the light bulb went on. Oh, I'm bringing into my life things that feel familiar to that because it's all I know. And jumping into the unknown would mean attracting different things into my life. It would mean not relying on the story to declare who I am. So I'm going to ask you, are you victorious in your life? Or are you a victim still in your life? Are you looking for and finding excuses why things aren't working for you? No judgment. I'm just asking you to ask yourself, are you in a vicious cycle Or can you imagine? What if there was something different? What if that's the thing that's setting other people free? And you see them in school. It's like, and there they go. They're gone. They're doing the thing. They're making the money. And I'm still sitting in 140. I'm still sitting, honest to God, I'm still sitting in theory, in my second year of theory. You should be sitting in your second year of, oh my God, how am I going to pay my taxes on this court reporting income that I had no idea I was going to make this much money? I paid all my bills. I paid my car off, put my kids through college. I did all the things except put money away for taxes, because I didn't know I was going to make that much money, and the money was coming in, and wow, does that feel good? Yeah. Well, so for those of you who've been in theory for 2 years, you should be paying taxes by now. Or you at least should be out of theory. And that's probably a judgment call on my part. But are you in a vicious cycle of staying where you are? Or could you be in a virtuous cycle of demanding, declaring, accepting, and allowing what could be happening for you, if only you would get out of your own way? Yeah, Steno is life. Life is Steno. You want to write fast, get behind that machine and then get out of your way. Get your head and get your thoughts and get your ideas and your notions out of the way. You're the machine that runs the machine. And to run it fast, you got to get out of the way. To allow things to happen effortlessly, you need to get out of your way. You do the work to download the dictionary, to be able to write faster than blazes. And then you stop and you use the other part of your brain to think about it. Is there a brief for that? Am I dragging letters? Did I miss something? Am I not going fast enough? Yeah, I'm writing real steady now, but we're only a minute into the take. You wait, because I usually fall apart about 2 minutes in. Oh, do you? Really? Is that what happens? You don't fall apart like 5 minutes in? Tell yourself you fall apart at 20 minutes in. See what happens. You want to know how powerful your brain is? When I was new at this, I was making a recording for someone, and I had been working with a lot of people for the RPR, and she was going for the California CSR. And so I did, Lynn, I love you. I think about you every day. Doing a recording, and somewhere in the recording, it says you write brilliantly, effortlessly, it flows accurately for 5 solid minutes, because the RPR is 5 solid minutes. And she said, you know, I feel great. I'm not shaking. I'm not blah, 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 but I'm writing. And about at 5 minutes or 6 minutes, it like all falls apart. And I thought, how could that be? What, but you're done with the test. So what is what is 5 minutes? Well, Carrie, the California test is like 10 minutes with a 2-minute warm up and, whatever. It's like, I don't know, 10, 12, 15. Oh my God. Her brain had totally accepted everything I was telling it, everything it was hearing in the recording, which were her definitions and her words that I was translating into a place where she could just play them back to herself without it being her own voice. You can do that. You can do your own recording. You have to be really careful about what you're telling your brain, because it's got to be present tense. It's got to be positive. It's got to be believable. And it's got to be your own words coming from your subconscious, not the deliberate part of you. So that's what I do when I do a recording. I'm listening very carefully to the you that's talking to me and knowing exactly what to echo back to you, to repeat so that it sinks in. So her brain took everything I said, absolutely literally, and she wrote beautifully, effortlessly, perfectly, accurately for 5 solid minutes. And then it all fell apart, because I didn't tell her brain what to do after that 5 minutes. So I redid the recording and changed that. But we like to think in terms of the test is over. I love this, a different limb. The test is over, but I could continue writing on. long as I wanted to. And that's what life and working behind the machine is like too, because frankly, you never know when you're actually going to be over. Your life's got to have some flexibility in it like that. Yesterday was a perfect example. I had one job that was supposed to be 2 depots in one case, 9 o'clock and 1 o'clock. The 9 o'clock didn't show up. And then I got on the line. I'm like, okay, what happened? And well, we've got you on a 5 o'clock anyway. And I'm like, 5 o'clock? Damn, I'm in New Mexico. That means it's 6 o'clock for me, California time 5. Okay, well, it's better than nothing. I don't have kids. I got a dog. I'll work around that. It'll be fine. Then I got a call. The 9 o'clock had gone off. The 1 o'clock was also going to go off, but they found me another 1 o'clock. Okay, is that 1 o'clock going to be done by 5? No problem, because 5 o'clock just canceled. So I got a $225 cancel fee for the first one, for the 9 o'clock, for the 1 o'clock, and then for the 5 o'clock. I haven't even written yet, and I'm making, frankly, fine money for the day. So I get on a job at 1 o'clock, California time. That's 2 o'clock, New Mexico. We didn't finish till after 6:30 my time. I was exhausted. And then they decided, and it was like a neuropsychological expert in a school assault case. And so then they decided, since they were taking the other side's expert, and tomorrow it's the deposition of their expert, they wanted their expert to read the transcript from today's expert. So they wanted a rough draft. And I thought, you knew you wanted this in the beginning and you didn't tell me, because they don't know. And I'm trying to explain to her, I take great pride. It's a professional pride thing that I want my rough drafts to be usable. And she said, well, it's not usable. And I'm thinking, I'm thinking to myself, lady, you were hitting 300, I was watching 324 words a minute consistently. Everybody's chopping everybody off. And the witness, just wants to keep talking. And they would go really slow. And then they'd have these fury periods, and they were just like damn near not reportable, and they were arguing with each other. I finally just put an end to that, but oh my god, yeah. So I didn't finish yesterday. I started at 9 o'clock New Mexico time, and I finally finished at about 9 o'clock TM New Mexico time. I had a lot of time in the morning where I had nothing to do, so I did a video for you guys. But for the most part, it's about an $1,800 day. It could have been better, but well, maybe it was. I forgot about the late cancellation fees. I guess I should add those in. Okay, so it wasn't a bad day. So anyway, you got to have that flexibility to be able to do that. And there was a moment yesterday where I felt put upon. I felt like a victim. I felt sad. I felt like, how could they do this to me? And then I thought, you know what, Carrie? You love what you do. You're good at what you do. This is what you signed up for. All parts of it. And thank God it doesn't happen that often. And thank God I don't have kids at home. I don't have other people running around my house to worry about, them wondering when I'm going to come out of my little sanctuary here and join the real world. Or there are days that go by where it's like, gosh, it's a good thing not to listen to the news, because the news can depress you. But every once in a while, it's like good to poke your head out and find out what actually is going on in the real world, the 3D world out there that we physically live in day by day. So I digressed a whole bunch there, but the point being, coming back to your perception of your life, your perception of the things that are happening to you or for you minute by minute. Are you in a vicious cycle? Or are you? Is it possible? What if? Could you be in a virtuous cycle? For 24 hours, try it. Look at everything in your life that happens to you and ask yourself, am I the victim of this right now? Or is this a virtuous moment? Is this the universe giving me yet again the thing I've gotten before, and again and again and again and again? Is the universe saying, are you ready to be past it? One more try. What are you going to do this time? You saw what you did all those other times, those other opportunities that I gave you that look just like this. Are you ready to be done with it? Are you ready to be past it? And then you never, ever have to see that again. The lesson is learned. It's internalized. It's become part of the new you that happens in every moment. Go out there and declare your day victorious and virtuous and phenomenal. You guys have a great day. I will talk to you soon. Even if you don't want me to.